Recording, yeah.
As we approach the holiday season, we often find our stress levels, our expectations, they all spike. And our extra time is filled with joyful activities of celebration, but it spills over into our workday. And for some, this can also be a time of burden, as some memories get linked to specific people, events, times, and it all relates back around to expectations. So today I'm joined by Dilyana Mileva, owner of the Menopause Support Academy and the Menopause Made Easy podcast. And she specializes in breathing techniques and sleep support for women in their later years in life. And interestingly, many of the symptoms and complaints she deals with her clients and students are similar to what the main population requires in order to live fully and joyfully. Dilyana is formerly from Bulgaria, but now lives in Canada in Vancouver. And we were introduced to each other through a mutual friend in Tasmania. Now, how cool is that? I love the global connections. Our ambition for this episode is to provide you with tips and tools to help you through the holiday season, but they can also bring you relief, comfort, and support on your wellness journey. Working with her clientele, Dilyana supports building resilience and confidence, creating boundaries and support systems, learning self-care, relaxation techniques, feeling stronger and more energized, balancing work-life lifestyles, and becoming more focused and productive. So our gift to you this holiday season is to welcome you to this supportive and loving conversation. You're listening to Be Well with Michelle Greenwell. This is sponsored by Dance Debut Inc. and the Cape Breton Tea Company. And please welcome Dilyana. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Michelle.
Oh, lovely to get started on this conversation of self-care. I was teaching a class this morning and people were trying to navigate all the little things. And sometimes those little things add up to the big things. And so I'm glad we can have this conversation and put some little tips and tools into the toolbox for people. So to get started, let's dive into a card from my card deck. So for those familiar, you'll know I'm going to hold up the front card of the deck, which says the affirmations for the body in the biofield. And I have a picture here. It's a ribbon of color, and it's called Mother and Child. This is a photograph that's been run through a filter, and Tanya Levy made it into this beautiful image. So I just want to bring forward the idea of nurturing and the idea of how we can support each other by mothering ourselves, but also how we can support ourselves by receiving that nourishment. And sometimes we quickly say, oh, we're okay, and we just push it off. And Christmas time is a great time for that. So the card that I pulled today is for the hands and the feet. They're known as the 11th chakra. And for those people who are on podcast and can't see this, it looks like two hearts. This is going to be really similar to another podcast I just recorded. It's got two hearts with kind of a greeny yellow surrounded by orange and red down at the bottom, and then an upside down one up at the top, just because of the way I'm holding the card. But in the middle is pink, purple, blue, red in a lovely array. So kind of like a beam of light coming out. And it says, every step we take, every gesture we make is coordinated with our soul's purpose. Lean into love and light and trust your inner guide and wisdom. So as we get started today, I just want you to bring that thought in mind of being there for you and knowing that everything you need is right there for you. And to bring that into flow, we've got some tea options today. So Dilyana, what did you put into your mug today?
It's a chamomile tea.
Okay. Is that something that you normally drink?
From time to time. It's not really often, but yes.
Okay. And then you have a Las Vegas mug that you held up. Have you been to Las Vegas to play?
Yeah, not to play, just for visiting, enjoying. Yeah, for the concert and for just to spend the time with friends like a vacation.
Lovely. And so when you hold on to that mug, what does that bring up for you when you're holding that?
Just a good souvenir. Just I like the memory. Whenever I went, I love to bring some souvenir from there. So it's just a good souvenir to remind me this place.
So for those people that are on the podcast that can't see Dilyana's smile, when she picked up the cup, immediately her face changed, her eyes went to a sparkle, and it was like, uh-huh. So just that idea of bringing in those things that give you reminders about those fun times. Because sometimes when we're busy trying to get all the to-do lists done, we forget about those moments when we did get that nice relaxation. Okay, so I have today I have Huggin' the Holidays, and this is like an apple cinnamon clove, but it has cocoa in it. So at the very tail end of the sip, you get this little hint of cocoa off the end, which is kind of fun. And I've put it into my Christmas mug. And this one actually is a reindeer with two eyes that are bugged out. And that I thought that represented well our conversation today, but also just the idea of having fun, because this is a cartoon. So it just reminds me, don't take things too seriously. No one cares if the list is finished. We're just all happy everybody's there. So cheers, Dilyana. Thank you for coming to join in on the conversation. And here we would say slàinte.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me again. It's such a pleasure to be today with you and your audience.
Oh, awesome. Okay, let's get started here. Before we start, so people know how they can make changes for themselves, awareness is really important. Do you want to talk about the kinds of things you draw attention with the clients and students that you work with for awareness?
Yeah, I teach a mindfulness between many other things for relaxation to bring the people in the moment, and they need to find the anchor to be in the present moment. There's a different techniques and tools to do that, but the more easiest is to focus on the breath. I use the breath as a healing tool, as a tool for self-help, self-healing, and also relaxation, centering, helping also with the meditation, with mindfulness and self-awareness, and wonderful tool to connect with body and mind.
Beautiful. And so one of the things I know with the students that I work with, you're not really aware of where your breath is most of the time, unless you're huffing and puffing because you've gone to do something and you come back and you go, oh, that was an exertion. But when you're just sitting and just being, you're not really aware of the breath. What kinds of things do you maybe ask your clients to share about what they're noticing about the breath?
So the most important things is if you want to switch the state, the mental state where they are, in which they are. Let's say they experience a lot of self-negative talk, they experience some anxiety, some depression, some low mood or moodiness. They experience mood swings sometimes. Whatever they experience due to the stress, the more important thing is to notice their posture and then to notice their breath. Just the focus of the breath and observe the breath is the way to bring their awareness and bring their attention to this. You take the breath as something natural and it's kind of given to us without pay attention to it. But it's wonderful to regulate a lot of systems in the body, to regulate the brain, to focus also, and to actually manage the energy, because the breath is related to the energy. I'm coming from a yoga background, and I used to teach a pranayama. A prana is just this vital energy that flow inside us, and yama actually extend this energy. So become aware of the breath is become aware of our energy. So become a master of the energy. We become a master of our mind, our state, physical, mental, emotional, and master of our life. So that's the relation of the breath awareness, pranayama, and also your state, mental, physical, and emotional.
I was just thinking about what you were saying, because you prefaced the whole thing by saying posture and the awareness of posture. And so many people are hunched over or compacted in the chest. And so awareness of breath really disappears because it's overshadowed by what the posture is doing. And as that deep breath comes in, and I was thinking about what you were saying about prana, and just even as you were saying those words, you kind of sit back and almost open up yourself just with the words, and then realize, oh, I was leaning forward. Oh, I was compacting, even though I thought I was sitting up straight, you know?
Yep.
It's so interesting, and it's so subtle, the difference. And some people are aware of, they should take a deeper breath, but they only are aware of it when they stop to be mindful. And then other people bring it in, but it kind of comes and goes in the day. So it's such an amazing piece. When you talk about the prana energy, because even I can feel it coming all the way through to my feet. Can you just talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it's so it's a tool to strengthen the nervous system, and also it's a tool to cleansing the nervous system with all the toxin. It's kind of when you inhale, you breathe this oxygen inside the blood cells in the blood circulation. When you exhale, you get rid of this CO and this residue that you need to get out of our system. So in the meantime, you self-regulate, the nervous system self-regulate the energy circulating in our body. So it's, you come from the physical mostly to the subtle. It's a path that you can take when become more and more aware of the breath and how you start to control the breath, and then you start to expand this energy, and then you start to see what's happened between this pause between inhale and exhale, and become really aware in the way you breathe, how you breathe. The more properly you breathe, the more healthy you become.
And it's as simple as that.
It's simple as that.
I love it. I love it. I had someone today that was saying, with all the challenges that they had, I was their last hope. And that's a lot of stress to take, to say the last hope. But then when you say something like, if you really notice the breath and take your time with the breath will start that healing process. And it's like that power is within. And so many people forget they're powerful. And the power can be as simple as just change the way you breathe.
Yeah, that's true. And nasal breathing is really important because it's more related with oxygenation in a connection with the brain. So you oxygenate better the brain, and if you cannot when you're under the stress, you cannot regulate the mind with the mind, right? You need something else. You need some other tool to calm down, and that's the breath who come here to really calm down and center us and really find this relaxation and this power within to self-regulate and become more relaxed.
I love what you said about you can't regulate the brain with the brain, because so many of us really do try, and it's that becomes that willpower, and that I don't have enough willpower because I couldn't keep something going. But it's because you're trying to solve it with the part that's having the challenge. And
Yeah.
if you come around from a different angle, include the body, because we have this whole body to work with, that's so much different than thinking the brain could solve the brain. Yeah, that's a really interesting way to phrase it, and to remind ourselves that if we're trying to do too much in our heads, there's an easier way, or there's another way anyway.
Yeah, there's another way. You have to get out of our head when you are in trouble. But because easily you get in our head, right? Specifically when you're angry, we are triggered, something happened that we don't expect, you cannot control. You need to learn how to let it go. And that's the more easy way to learn how to let it go, is use the breath.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And as you're saying that, I was thinking about with the brain, it's not letting go. It's clinging on, actually. It's holding tighter because it's trying to do that solving piece, which then doesn't allow for that process of transformation to be able to get to that relaxation, because you actually end up ramping it up. Beautiful. Okay, so can you lead us through something that will get people noticing that breath and becoming more aware?
Sure. The best is whenever you practice the deep breathing or breath work or some breathing exercise, it's important that your spine is straight, your shoulders relax, your face is relaxed. You can close the eyes or you cannot, depend. You can use to focal point, look down on the earth somewhere, or just look in front of you. Just find some focal point if you're not comfortable to close the eyes, right? And there's a different type of exercise, but the more basic that I teach is just a basic step, just foundation, and just start to breathe through the nose slowly. You just observe what's happened when you start deep in the breath, when you start breathe more with your pelvic floor and belly, and extend a little bit more the breath when you inhale. And you pause for 2-3 seconds and then exhale slowly longer. And again, be sure that your feet also is grounded on the floor. If you're sitting, your tailbone down, grounding on the floor. Your spine again is straight. And then you just take this slowly, gentle breath through the nose all the time. And then notice how you breathe. Do you breathe more with the chest? Or do you breathe more with your belly and diaphragm? So the goal is to start learn how to use the full capacity of the lungs and use more the belly breathing or diaphragmatic breathing, and then less than breathe with the chest. So you can put one hand on your belly and one on the chest, and when you breathe slowly and deeply, you can start notice how you breathe. You're supposed to push your hand on your belly with your belly when you inhale. Extend the breath, feel this extension 360 degrees of your rib cage. Extend to the throat and the head, and then slowly longer exhale. You basically contract the chest and the belly, your belly going towards the spine. And then again, you inhale full, you feel the movement with the breath inside the body. And pause. And then slowly exhale longer through the nose. As longer as much as you can. Sometimes people will have difficulty to extend a little bit longer. And inhale also, it's a little bit short. Try to elongate as much as possible inhalation and exhalation. Let's start again. Breathing full with the belly. Pause. And then slowly exhale through the nose. And you contract. So when you inhale, you expand. And when I exhale, you contract. So breathing full. Pause. And breathe out. And pause. And then just breathe normal. And now you notice how the belly functions in different way, how the chest rise up and fall down. You're more aware of the movement on the breath inside the body. What's happening inside the body, inside the mind. Now breathe again, full. And pause. And breathe out. and pause. And then again, full breath in. Extend, pause. Release everything, any tension, any stagnation in the body through the nose, exhale. I just breathe normal, just gentle. You slow down the breath as much as possible. Slow and become more subtle, more gentle. Just breathe normally, but observe the breath. See how now you tend to breathe a little bit more deep and naturally.
Mm-hmm. And two
Right?
good yawns.
Yeah.
Asking for more. Yeah. I feel like it's almost a celebration for me when I get that 360-degree breath. Because it's easy for me with the Tai Chi to get to the belly breath, but not always does it make it 360. So I kind of, when I start to feel those ribs start to move, in my head, I hadn't realized till you were just talking that it's almost a celebration for me. I got there. I'm in that much deeper relaxation. And then a reminder, now please stay here.
Yeah, there's so much any other tools that I teach in my workshops, in my courses, in my one-on-one coaching, also teaching. There's another tool if you have trouble to sleep. It's called Yoga Nidra, yogic sleep. It's kind of guided breathing meditation. You listen my voice and I guide you through the whole body from the toes to the head. And when I mention different body, different part of the body, you become more aware. But I bring you basically in the state between awareness, awakeness, just before you fall deep and sleep. It's very helpful for people who have insomnia, anxiety, and trouble to sleep. And everybody who want to relax, this is just different technique that I use. I teach also.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking about people who in the morning dread getting out of bed.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's because it's painful to get out of bed, but sometimes it's just overwhelming to think about what's next. So what do you recommend for people when they first wake up?
There's another technique that I teach for morning to energize a little bit more and bring more energy so you can jump off from the bed. You can sit on the bed. And the thing is that you use your hands. You do this movement from up, down, and you inhale normal, but exhale forcefully. It does bring a little bit more forceful exercise and more kind of bring the energy moving more fast. And that energize your whole system and your mind. So you need to bring more energy and more oxygen in the morning. So you awake this energy, this sleep energy. So that is another different tool that I teach in the morning. So there is a different routine in the morning. If you want more energy, more vigorous exercise to wake up the body. And in the evening, when you want to sleep, you just want to really come to the state of meditation and just calm the mind, the brain, and sleep more easily. So the morning routine is different than evening routine.
So with that one, I'm just wondering if we could do, if you're okay to have us run through a couple of repetitions of the breath of that morning breath. But I was thinking about awareness. So the people, as they're listening, of course, if you're driving, you're going to keep your hands on the steering wheel. But
yeah. don't move the hands and don't move anything.
for those people whose arms might be free. But I'm just thinking of the awareness that we could gain from that to realize where you can invigorate yourself with the breath and what state you might be currently in, and then realize the difference between those. Could we do that?
You mean to guide you through the other type of exercise to bring you more aware? I mean, more invigorate breathing so that you can experience this awakening.
Yeah.
Okay, this is different. You inhale really normal. You close the mouth. It's always through the nose, but then you just don't make this pause. It don't make this longer inhale, longer exhale. Everything is more short. So inhale like
Okay, so you're going,
It's kind of pumping.
quickly in
All the
and
time
out.
you're pumping.
Okay, pumping. Just for those people that are listening and can't see you at the moment. So you're,
Yeah, you can just hear how you pump through. You just, it's really like a pump, and
okay.
that's help your also blood circulation to become circulate more, a little bit. Your heart rate become to tap up a little bit more fast, and you bring more oxygen in your brain. Your energy become more awake.
Okay. Okay. So should we give this a little try?
Yeah, you can do that 10 times. You pause it and do again another 10 times and you pause. And let's do that 3 times, okay?
Okay.
If you watch me now, you can do it with me with the hands up. And when you inhale normal and exhale, you bend your elbow and you bring your hands with bent elbow close to the body. Inhale a little bit, stretch to the ceiling or to the sky. Inhale normal, and then you pump with forceful breathing. You pause now and breathe normal. Just to relax a little bit, to pause, relax, breathe normal, gentle. And let's do that 10 more times. Let's see how that's going.
Okay.
Inhale. And you pause. You put your hands on your laps and just breathe normal. Observe the breath. You see how that simple movement, this forceful breathing, how that energy changed suddenly. It's different. It's much more energized, right?
Mm-hmm. And I can feel everything's got a little bit of a tingle or a lightness to it.
Yeah.
So
You
if I
can
was
feel this
going
tingling,
to
yeah.
move to go do something, I feel like I would be lighter to get there than how I was feeling before.
Yeah.
And
Just to
my,
get off sluggishness or this, you need to a little bit to when you just wake up, you really slow down, just to bring you a little bit more energy, and as you say, to get up and really do the things. You just sit on the bed, and then just this movement of the hands up and down with forceful breathing. 30 times, 10 times, pause, 10 times, pause, 10 times, pause. You feel energy, you're ready for the day.
yeah, it feels like even the posture, although I was sitting straight, I'm now lifted straight, not because I tried to make myself taller, it just lifted on its own.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a shift in the posture that I don't have to mentally hold on to. It's taking care of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really fantastic tool for when you feel really a little bit wore down and you need more energy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Okay. Um, if we were going to take someone who was, let me think, if you were heading off to a party or to a social gathering where it's going to be a little bit tough being out with a group of people, or it's one of those days when you're not feeling quite yourself, what advice would you offer for tools to help people to calm that uneasiness and to gain a little bit of confidence?
Let's again just focus on the breath, focus on the belly breathing, how you breathe. And when you talk, even be more aware of the breath, how the breath moves. And suddenly you shift your consciousness of this kind of uneasiness to something that will make you more ease, more relaxed. You feel more yourself. You can even communicate better, express yourself better, and then you feel more in ease. You want to be more in ease, right? It just, again, be more mindful how you breathe, focus on how you breathe. Practice this even diaphragmatic breathing a little bit before you enter on the building. And then when you enter, even with the people, again, stay still, stay straight, your spine straight, and then you just, notice your shoulders. How is your shoulders? Notice your voice. How is your voice? And if you notice that you're kind of, contract a little bit more, your posture is not straight, your voice is really low, and you want to be more kind of push a little bit more yourself to be more joyful, energized. Again, you just practice this slow, deep breathing, and then even when you with somebody and talk with somebody, you just notice your posture, notice your shoulders, how is there, and notice your voice, and then you can correct yourself with this. The people not maybe even not notice that this sudden shift and subtle shift in yourself, but it's kind of suddenly you feel different. You feel more light, you feel more at ease, you feel more relaxed, and you can go through whatever challenge you have. You can go through the fear when you present. Also, you going to through presentation or going through speaking in public. You're nervous. Always practice this and feel more grounded and suddenly, immediately, and you're gonna switch right away your nervous system, your mental state, and your how you present.
I was, as you were saying those pieces, and again, it's like, wow, that much with the breath, first of all. But the second piece that I was thinking about is when you go into a social situation like that, very often, if you're not feeling 100% who you want to be, or you've got that nervousness, you'll actually choose a seat where you end up slumped. And so like it's the corner of the couch, in the far corner, or onto a bench, maybe at a stand-up bar or something. And when you sit down onto the bench, you don't sit straight, but you actually hunch the back. And so then you're making that breath smaller. And so I would just invite people to think about where they position themselves in the room and what they do with their posture, because those are a couple of things that might be a habit that you have, not realizing you put yourself into that. Even though you took the deep breaths getting into the room, you put yourself into that crisis again by the choice you made as to where you were going to sit or stand. And I'm thinking also about shoes. When you were saying to ground yourself, feet on the floor, a lot of people at Christmas time, they get dressed up, they put high heels on, they put boots on, has a wedge or a pinch on the toe. But then that changes how grounded you're going to feel. And so thinking about what pair of shoes will make you feel comfortable so that you can stay grounded.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. If you're not comfortable in your shoes, you cannot be really comfortable in general.
Yeah. I just think of some of the performers that you'll see that'll come out in their bare feet. And they do that so they can be connected and completely present in the moment. Not that we can go to a party and be in bare feet, but a lot of times if we go to somebody's house, we're going to be in our socks, or maybe you're going to put slippers on. And so then thinking about, in our house, it's a cold house, so cold feet happen. So having slippers to keep the feet warm. So that's another way too to be grounded, because as soon as those feet are cold, you start fidgeting, and then also your breath starts to close up. So taking care of those little things about being comfortable that are important. Yeah. Beautiful. Okay, so could you share, you were talking about going to bed. What if you woke up in the middle of the night, couldn't get back to sleep? Do you have something with that?
Depend what kind of person you are, but there's many audio guide and audio apps and that help to calm the mind. I myself I'm recording some audios that people can listen, but if you listen some natural sound or sound bath or some kind of really type hypnosis that can really calm the mind. If you don't want to interact with technology with everything, you can put just slow music on the background, like really relaxing, slow natural sound of the nature. This sound beat that relax your brainwave. Or if you want to be in silent, again, get out of the bed, take a fresh air, open the window and take this slow, deep inhale and exhale a few times, oxygenate a little bit, then come back to bed or sit down and try to perform a little bit this slow breathing exercise. And you cannot, everybody can help with that. Most of the time people is different, there's a different way, but most of the time it's help to just get out, take a tea, maybe relaxing tea, take a fresh air in a balcony if you have balcony, on the veranda or patio, whatever you have, or just on the window, and then perform this slow breathing exercise in your bed, and then try again to slow down and then when you relax, you can really fall asleep and drift again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Okay, can you tell me a little bit about what happens when we're holding that breath? What happens to the emotions?
It's a powerful tool to switch again anxiety, depression, or some negative thoughts and self-talk to something more positive and more relaxed. You can use these different mantras to repeat. You can to regulate these emotions. So it's not only when you hold the breath, but perform all together all these techniques and exercise that I teach, and visualize also some that you're in some place, that the happy place. You feel happy, how you feel, what you experience. Use this visualization with the breathing and also with different techniques that I teach that can help switch the how you feel. If you feel really low, depressed or anxious, or you feel angry, even whatever you feel, you switch this negative to positive. It's really, again, working with your nervous system, you're working with your brain, so that we're using the breath again to really slow down and focus more on relaxation, and the emotions switch by themselves as the state of mind switch by themselves, by
Mm-hmm.
himself.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. I think people sometimes they think the emotion is there and it's to stay, and not realizing that the body just went out of balance and just needs to come back into balance, and then your emotion is going to shift, or that those crazy thoughts that keep running through, they actually will shift. And it can be as simple as, where are you with your breath? And within a few cycles, you can just feel that whole shift happen.
We need to shake out these negative things out of our system, out of our body. It's a powerful tool to use these techniques for switch the emotions from negative to positive.
Exactly. And I know your area of expertise is perimenopause and menopause. So what can you tell us for women who are in that stage of life, and the work that you do with the breath?
So I have a powerful free gift they can download from my website, Menopause Support Academy. You can discover about 21 of the symptoms if you're going through perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause even. Symptoms such as heart breathing quickly and strongly, like palpitation, heart palpitation, feeling tense or nervous, difficult sleeping, muscle and joint pain even, hot flashes, night sweats, mood swings, brain fog, anxiety, depression, as I mentioned also, and so much more. Using this, I have 3 powerful techniques that they can start using right away. And they can download from my homepage if they scroll down a little bit, much more, a little bit down. So from Menopause Support Academy, they can download this free gift, and they can start practicing this tool right away, so they can heal themselves going through these symptoms. It's very helpful. It's natural. And yeah, the Menopause Support Academy, it's a combination of different holistic tools and techniques to help you to discover yourself, connect with your body and mind, and to be more relaxed, so that you can feel more about more yourself again, more relaxed and more happy.
Beautiful. And the Academy, do you want to just talk a little bit about a couple of the programs that you have running in there?
I have a different, I have Vita White program, 90 days. I have deep sleep formula. I have menopause health mastery also. And I have also individual coaching that I can, if person prefer not group coaching, but in-person one-on-one coaching. I also have this Reset Menopause call, discovery call that they can find out more about this program and what is more suitable for them, depend of their needs.
Excellent. And the tools that you're using there, would they be applicable to someone who suffers from period pain?
Yeah. All kind of pelvic health also. It's kind of actually very powerful for women who want to improve their pelvic floor health, with combination with the breathing, because they are related. The pelvic floor with the diaphragm, they're related. So learning these techniques that can help with the menstruation cycle, with the pain of PMS, with this problem with the pelvic floor or even the bladder, if they're going very often to the toilet, that can regulate with strengthen or relax a little bit the muscles in the pelvic floor, combination of diaphragmatic breathing.
Wow. Wow. So I invite people, then you have that free gift that's sitting there that they can just access and take. And then from there, they can do some digging to see if there's anything that pertains to what they're doing. That's great. Are you on any social media platforms where they can find you?
Yeah, they can listen also my podcast, Menopause Support Academy, where I invite different experts. You was also in my podcast, your episode coming up soon. And they also can find the different tools and techniques there from the podcast. They can find me on YouTube with my name, Dilyana Mileva. They can find me in LinkedIn, in Facebook also. I'm in all social platform for sure. But the best way to connect with me is through menopausesupportacademy.com, and they can book a call with me, or they can just listen podcasts, or find some their free gift that can experience, and so much more.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay, so as we come into some suggestions or tools specific for the holidays, what have you got that's kind of your go-to thing that you do?
I prepare a new products to launch, and so if the people are interested, I will announce it soon. And also I think about some women's circle or half-day wellness workshop that I can introduce them also in different techniques of breathing and meditation. So that's coming up. Stay tuned. Connect with me if they want to learn more. So it's yeah, for holidays it will be very useful to find some times for yourself, and just relax and pamper yourself, and just prioritize yourself and your self-healing, self-love. It'll be nice.
And I think that's hard for a lot of people too, you know, if they've got the to-do lists ready to go and they keep trying to get everything done so that they feel good that they've done the best they could do with the tasks at hand, but not realizing sometimes how run down you can get by trying to get those tasks done.
No, I can suggest to give a gift for pause. Just want to pause, wanting rushing between the kitchen and the stores to prepare all the gifts and all the holiday season. You just want to pause in between and then recharge and then keep going.
Exactly, exactly. And I think you noticed that with that breath, when you took that pause at the top and that pause at the bottom, there's a space in there. And that space is just, it doesn't have anything. It doesn't have judgment in it. It doesn't have crazy thoughts running through it. It's just space. And it's just so lovely to be in there. And with the holidays, it's lovely to be in that space, to enjoy the reason why you're rushing around, but to just stop. I just, as the weather changes for me, and I'd like to say from going from the outside to the inside, but I spend more time inside in my office. But just that idea of changing into celebration. And we kind of celebrate in the summer, and we're celebrating being outside. And for me here, I get to go to the beach and to the ocean. But in the wintertime, it's that celebration of putting connection with people first. And for me, that's where I think of the nurturing part, because those people I might not have had a chance to catch up with because of the work tasks, I make a priority then to catch up. And maybe I catch up before Christmas, but a lot of times now I actually wait till January, February when it's not so busy. And then I say, let's catch up in January, and then book a time. And I try to do that and make sure then I've caught up with some people that maybe through the year got lost. And that also takes me into January, February, where I might not be feeling the greatest because we've got that last bit of sun has disappeared and our vitamin D count goes down. So that's a great place for me then to make connections with friends and just take myself back to being me and away from the work. And so anyway, so that would be my tip and tool for people.
Wonderful to create space for yourself and celebrate yourself first, and then anything else.
Yeah. So I would just wanted to share with people one of the tools that I use a lot. You probably have seen it on many of the podcasts or some of the different recordings I've done, and that's ESRs. And it goes great with the breathing techniques you've been talking about. And that's just putting the fingertips lightly on the forehead. And when you're touching the front of the forehead, they call them the emotional stress release points. And it allows the blood to come from the back of the brain to the front. And just those crazy thoughts that keep running around that just don't seem to want to leave, they're calmed. And so if you find that that's something that's happening, then you can take that into these beautiful deep breaths that Dilyana shared with us and just let the whole system calm. And the fingers will just move away from the forehead when you're done. That's my go-to. It's not very often that I can't sleep. I usually hit the bed and that's it for me, but sometimes that can be the final piece that allows me to drift off. So
yeah, perfect.
All right. Well, Dilyana, thank you for sharing the time with me today and also talking about your program, because I think there's a lot of people that really could be transforming the way their bodies are functioning and the way that they're feeling with the tools that you have. So thank you so much.
Thank you to having me, to give me this opportunity to share what I have to offer. What I can actually, how they can help themselves with this breath. Just remind yourself to breathe deep, whatever you need, and that's all.
Beautiful. Okay, so with that, we'll bring a close to the podcast today. And I'm just going to remind you, season 3 is devoted to the transformational process that happens when people reach into their authentic selves to create some magic. And our season has had several publications, starting with tips and tools of my own at the beginning, interviews with lovely people who have amazing talents and skills, and then following up at the end of the month with an update from my sister, Charlene Waynes, and her work with the Moyo family in Malawi, and also the new discovery she's made by asking questions to other people of what do they need and how can we help. And we like to shine a light on that. So thank you for joining us. This is Michelle Greenwell with Be Well with Michelle Greenwell. Take care and have a great day. Happy holidays.